But what does it actually mean? It means him going first, not in dominance, but in sacrifice. And it looks like praying before she asks you to, or apologizing when pride tells you not to, when it tells you to leave and go to the other room or just walk out, staying calm when the room is heated. And you're the example. And remember, all those little eyes are up on you, but that's what marks the true leadership.
No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Quote by John Mack. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Wrote by Sarah Sambo.
Welcome back to another episode of the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk Podcast. I'm your host again, back again, Dan Caldwell, and I'm here with my better half, my beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenczi. We're really happy to be back. I don't know what else.
We're happy to have you guys back. We're happy to be back in the hot seat. And this one's going to be a hot seat for sure because we're talking about things that are important. Of course, we're always talking about things that are important. Yeah, because I'm probably going to be on the hot seat. I'm about to roast myself. I don't know why I came up with this podcast. It's just important right now. It's like we keep talking about it. It keeps coming up in our conversations. And there's so many different versions of what this looks like. There's so many people, but we're gonna kind of dial it down to one certain piece.
Well, before you introduce it, I feel like we really need to. I feel like Dan and I were just talking about this, and we're really proud of you guys for showing up. The fact that you pressed play on this podcast tells us that you really care, that you care enough to put time and energy into your marriage and into your children and into your business and your legacy. And that says so much about the person that you are and who's listening on the other end. You're not just drifting through this thing. You're intentional. And that's what builds lasting families and lasting impact. So before we jumped into, and before I interrupted you, but I felt called to say, we're proud of you. We're proud of you, Mama and Papa out there, and for working so hard at this because
and
it's
the person you want to
commitment.
become.
Yeah, it's
because
work
I think
every week.
We all want to be better at this. I mean, we're still growing. We're growing. That's why we have these conversations. We talk it out, and there's sometimes
I say that to my children all the time. Is you never stop learning. Don't ever want to stop learning. You will learn until. You should accept and want to learn until your very last breath, right? So anyway, talk about what we're about to talk about.
Well, this is important about what we're about to talk about.
Talk about what we're about to talk about.
I mean, every parent, every husband, every wife, every leader needs to hear this and that is the leader goes first. The leader always goes first. And that's what leadership is about. And so, in whether it's your marriage or with your kids or with your business, nothing changes until someone decides to go first. And that's what we're talking about today. And we'll get back into it. But before we jump into that, hey guys, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Pretty and Punk Podcast. And if you are, and you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It just takes a second. It means so much to us because it really helps the podcast get out there to more listeners like you guys. And if you know anybody it might help and you can send it to them, we really appreciate that too.
We also love and appreciate your reviews. Even the babies look forward to them every day. If you share this episode on social media today, don't forget to tag us. We want to celebrate you because we know it's not easy being a parent in business, and the way that you juggle things makes you a superhero. That's worth a shout out. Together, we have a community of our personal followers as well, and we just want to put it out there. We want to show everybody that this juggle is possible, and you are our family, and we're so proud and grateful to have you a part of this family. So don't forget, all the links are below in the show notes. And thank you again. And let's get back to the show. And it sounds exciting. Everybody wants to be a leader, but there's so much responsibility that comes into leadership. And let me be clear, leadership, it's not domination. Leadership is sacrifice. And that's the part that maybe you didn't want to hear, and you're kind of pulling, I want to lead until you realize how much sacrifice goes into it. And it's not about control. It's about, as I just mentioned, the responsibility. A real leader doesn't tower over people. He kneels to serve them. She kneels to serve them. And that's what a therapist will tell you. And that's what scripture shows us. A true leader doesn't prove their strength by demanding our ways or demanding his ways. He proves it by sacrificing his comfort, by apologizing first. And that's hard. That is really hard. And it's by praying first, by staying calm when everybody else loses their cool. That's what leadership looks like in a marriage, in parenting, in business. It's not domineering, it's leadership by example through a servant leadership. And then all of a sudden it's not as attractive, but that's what needs to be done, right?
Yeah, it's, we talked a little bit about leadership last week. So if you didn't catch last week's podcast,
go back and check it out.
That was about a leader needs to have vision, which is another important part of being a leader. You got to have vision for your family, for your business. You got to have the picture. You're building
Smell
that.
It, feel it. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 10 years, 5 years?
And where you're taking everybody. Where are you taking everybody?
So important.
And because they have to buy into your vision. And that's so important. It's a big part of being a leader. But we wanted to talk about, so when we talked about that, we said, oh, do we want to get into some of these other things? And we didn't want to confuse everybody on that podcast because there's so much to be unpacked. So we thought, let's split that up and let's separate those conversations, and that's what that's where this podcast was kind of born. And it go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we're going to lead it first. I think first and foremost, the most important thing, right, is the bond between the husband and the wife, the holy covenant. So we can talk about, or we are going to talk about how marriage and servant leadership happens. And men, hear me, your wife doesn't need a boss, but she needs a partner who leads with love. And I mean, really think about that. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. And I know we hear this all the time, but what does it actually mean? It means him going first, not in dominance, but in sacrifice. And it looks like praying before she asks you to, or apologizing when pride tells you not to, when it tells you to leave and go to the other room or just walk out, staying calm when the room is heated. And you're the example. And remember, all those little eyes are up on you. That's going to be, and we're going to move into the parenting by example, but that's what marks the true leadership. And it's hard. It's really hard. And maybe when you talk about it, it doesn't feel hard, but when you're in the moment, that's when you have to kind of call yourself back. I know I was listening to a friend of mine talk about when negative thoughts start to come in. And she actually says that, like, out loud, she'll say, can't cancel that. or like she'll sweep it off. My mom actually used to do this too. She'd sweep it off her shoulder. Like I could see her sweep her shoulder. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm just thinking some negative things. I'm sweeping it off my shoulder. So whatever it is for you to get in touch with whatever's coming. So you feel you're going to lose it, do something that takes it back, that reels it back, because you have to understand, if you lose your temper, your wife is not going to be open. She's not going to be feminine. Now, if you don't go first, she's going to have to go first. If you lose it, or you're not going to be the one to pray, or you're not going to be the one to do these things, I'm sorry, wives, but you're going to have to step up, and hopefully he catches the momentum and he starts to lead. But that's not going to help our wives step into her feminine, right?
And that's not going to help you, men
as
out
a
there.
leader.
If that keeps happening, you're going to be put into this position that when you do try to show dominance, when you do try to make a decision, that you're going to receive, she's still going to be in her decision making. She's going to be in this leadership role because you put her there. And
it's
now
not even by dominance. There's
over this
fear.
Decision.
I think it's more fear from the woman.
Fear for her,
but he may not see that. So,
but then when you try to go make a decision,
right.
like, no, we're going to do this, you try to all of a sudden show up.
Yeah,
now today you're showing up, and you're going to be met with resistance, and that's why if you always stay in that role, there are going to be times when you course correct. Believe me, I've been there. 100%. I've been there. I've been there when you're just tired and you're dealing with something and your brain is broken down and you don't have the energy. You don't have the energy in you to do what you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you just fold up into your phone or into your business and you're not showing up at home. It's so easy to push yourself into your business and just try to hide away and disappear. Right. You hear about men sitting in their car before they come in the house because they're not doing things in the order that they're supposed to. Right. If you are doing things in the order that you're supposed to, you won't have some of those problems. Yeah. I mean, you're still going to have relationship issues. Everybody does.
That's right.
But somebody asked me a while back. I was on a phone call, and it was like a consultation, and I was talking to them. They asked something about leadership, and I said, one of the most important things that I think any leader needs to do, or I know any leader needs to do, is you have to be willing to make decisions. You have to be willing to be the person that makes the first decision. Not always asking your partner, well, what do you think we should do? Just make a decision. It's for leaders, for people that are running businesses. If you can't make a decision, you'll never be able to run a company. If you're always left in this position where you're hemming and hawing and trying to research or give me more time or I'll get back to you in a week, the best leaders make a decision on the spot. They just, good, right, or indifferent, wrong or indifferent, they make a decision one way or the other. You can it's better to make the wrong decision than to make no decision. If you come home and, here's a simple one that men always have a problem with, because we think we want to please our wives. We're trying to be nice people. And so when our wife asks us, well, where do you want to eat today? And we go, oh, wherever you want to eat, babe. Wherever whatever you feel like eating. Picky. And then she ends up you're handing over your leadership belt.
Yeah, that's true.
Your whole belt, your leadership belt. You've handed it over to her and you said, here, why don't you lead the family and tell us where we should eat today, babe? Instead of just making a decision. Yeah. Start there.
You know your wife.
With that one.
You know your wife. You know what she likes. You know your children. You know what they like. Don't take it as, I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to go get, I don't know, whatever it is that you like and what she doesn't. But she wants to see, my goodness, he remembered that pasta's my favorite. I'm not saying that that's my favorite, but just he remembered that I love filet mignon. He took me for filet mignon. Like I remember when we would go for whatever it is that we would go for.
Mastro's.
Yeah, Mastro. I don't know why I was forgetting. When we'd go to Mastro's, I'm like, oh, I love it. I love the cheesecake here. I love the steak. I know that I could come up with the idea, but it's just better when you do. And you're like, we're going to Mastro's. We're going to Mastro's, or you just drive there. You drive us there. And then when we get there, we're so excited because we love it. So he's not making a decision on his selfish, although he loves it too. We all love it. But he's putting what the family loves first. So,
and if you came to me and said,
I really want to go.
My stomach's, not feeling well today. I don't feel like having this. I don't want to have steak. Maybe we can go have this instead or something like this. Then I'll respect that.
See,
100%.
and
I'm not trying to say we're going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a decision for the family that they want to do
for their best interest.
I'm not even thinking about myself.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking what I want to eat. I'm thinking, what can I decide that they're going to want to eat today that's going to make them happy?
And that's real leadership, and that's servant leadership. And when she sees you sacrifice and you do what's best for the family, you're not just going to buy whatever's like a luxury golf cart. And when you're putting the whole I bought us a boat because we all like to go boating, or maybe we all love to golf. I know Daniel loves to golf. So say he did buy that luxury golf course or golf cart, it's because we all love it. So it's that type of leadership, and even some women are very worried about.
I bought us a new gun, babe.
Yes. I mean, maybe we are
it's
excited about
to protect our family.
Maybe we're excited about that.
We needed this.
Right. So, I mean, and that's for the best interest of the family.
Yeah.
But even the one thing I did like I just recently was listening to Dave Ramsey, and he said that his wife let him be the leader. I can't remember the exact wordage. Oh my gosh, it just popped into my head now that we're talking about it. But he made some not very intelligent moves and lost a lot of money. And she said, I knew that was going to happen. He said, well, why didn't you tell me? Something along these lines. And she said, well, I was letting you lead us. But now he never makes a decision without her because she's got such a great intuition. So they do everything together. So don't leave your spouse out, because sometimes she's really good at navigating and reading people and whatever that is. So just don't think that you don't need to talk to her. That's right. That
allows her to see things that you're not going to see.
That's exactly what he said, that God blessed her with this intuition and this ability.
I'm talking about you like you're in third person, but you do.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at reading people, and I'm pretty good at that gut. I don't know. I feel like
it's a delicate dance when you have to do that, because in some ways,
you don't want to.
I want to lead us.
I've done that in the past. I want to make those
decisions
I've let you make
for us.
Some
decisions that are good for the whole family.
Yeah. And when the children were young, I'm like, no, not just no.
Well,
no,
yeah,
you're
and
not,
so,
no, don't do that. But I
want to have the conversation too,
right? But then you have to be careful, because I have been aggressive about, not aggressive. I've never yelled or lost my temper, but I've been, no, we're not going to do that. And then it's almost like you want to fight for it more because you maybe don't see my good intention behind it, or my alarm bells going off, and then you kind of get it, and you're like, oh my gosh, babe, you were right. I think I came at you because I felt like you were trying to step over me, and I just wanted to push into it even more. And I learned my lesson. Like, maybe we can communicate this in a way that we understand that it's for our
in all
own
fairness,
good.
I think I may have. I mean, I can remember a couple times where I made a decision and started going down a road to get something done, and you came in and said, no, we can't do that. And I said, and my ego kicked in,
Right.
I know what I'm doing. What are you talking about? I'm trying to make decisions for this family. This is what is probably running through my head.
100%.
And my
I
ego
get it.
steps in and probably bites back a little bit
Yeah.
and probably jumped out and said a few things that probably weren't, nice, and because
And that sucks because as women, we don't forget things. We're elephants.
I know.
We got the elephant
but it was
memory.
my ego. It jumped out and said,
then
I'm trying to lead us. I'm trying to do. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm thinking this in my head. Like, I'm trying to make decisions here. You weren't here when I had to make the decision.
Yeah.
So I'm making a decision. That's what I do. Watch out. I'm the baddest. I'm the one who makes the decisions. Get out of my way. Who are you to tell me? You're 102 pounds trying to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. And
You're just a chick.
And at the end of the day,
What?
I knew you're right. And it's just, but
It's
I
just
don't,
our
I don't want to
egos.
swallow it.
But for
And
me,
so my
I think
ego
it's a
kicked in.
this when you have children, you think different and you want to protect the family.
Yeah, you're
and it's
looking
almost
from a
like
different
you're
point of view. You're looking for. I wasn't
Things
looking
are
at it.
different
I was looking at
now.
I want to get this done.
Yeah.
We need to get this done. This is the easiest way to get this done right now, and it needs to get done. But you were looking at it from, I don't want the kids to be in this position.
Yeah,
and so
it's
I'm
your
going to say
spidey
no.
senses kick in,
And I'm like,
and you could
I wasn't
smell
thinking of
blood
that.
and danger as a mother. You could literally, you don't even need utensils or flipper. You don't need that stuff when you're a mom. You can literally
Did you say
touch.
flippers?
Well, whatever,
Spatula?
the spatula. I'm thinking of the word in Hungarian. So you're cooking, and as a mom, like, just everything's different. You can touch really hot things and like flip it with your fingers. I remember
yeah.
seeing my mom do this stuff. I'm like,
You did yesterday.
you're gonna
You
burn
reached in and
yourself.
grabbed that pizza. I said, I'd never reach in and grab that thing. Are you kidding? You know how hot that was?
I don't know what happens when you
I don't
become
know,
a mom.
something
You're like
moms get-
super.
Moms
woman.
get some super thing going on in their fingertips.
Sweet, and that leads us to
'Cause I'm
parenting
like, ooh,
by.
that's hot.
There's
No way. And I
hot.
see you just grab it out and flip it.
The
I'm
pain
like, no
is
way.
gone. There's
I
no
wouldn't do
pain. The
that.
pain tolerance. It's crazy. You don't feel it.
I'd run head first into gunfire, but I would not flip that pizza. It was way too hot.
Oh yeah. So okay. So
anyways, back
parenting
to
by
where were we?
example. I think that's the next thing we're gonna slide into.
Well, I think.
And our children don't follow what we say, right? You can say whatever you
Hold on,
feel is right. Did you have another
I just
point?
didn't want to get too far because the one thing I did want to
go
mention
for it.
is I just want to mention it specifically because we do this too, and I know if you're married, I can probably 100% guarantee that you've done this at some point with your
Not
wife
apologize.
or your husband.
Is
Well,
it that?
yeah, it's now I will say that I'm probably guilty of this, but I will not.
We can get better.
I will 100% also say that you've probably done this too, even though I can't remember a time, a specific time. I'm willing to bet that you did this too, and that's the Mexican standoff. That's what I call it.
What?
I'm Mexican half. I'm half Mexican. I can say that.
No, you're not.
It's a Mexican standoff, and that's when somebody does
just an
something,
expression.
and you guys are both mad at each other, and you're like, "Well, I'm not going to apologize till he apologizes, or I'm not going to treat him with respect until he rubs my back or gives me the type of love that I want." It's like,
I was talking about this earlier, is that if he doesn't do it, you just have to do it. And hopefully they learn by example.
Yeah,
right?
but even
You
more so
can't just-
before that is that a leader needs to be first. They need to be first. We need to be first. We need to suck it up and go, what's going on right now in this relationship? I need to be looking at the bigger picture like I do in our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be looking at the bigger picture. I got to understand what's going on everywhere. What is not, somebody's not happy over here. I don't like that. And I want to just say, do what I tell you to do because this is how it needs to get done. And this is how it's going to get fixed. But that is not going to go over well. And so sometimes you just need to come to somebody and apologize to say I'm sorry for the way I came at you, like I did this morning. I forgot what I did, but I apologize for whatever I
Oh,
did.
it was to Daniel. It wasn't to me.
No. It was to you. It was 100% to you. You didn't like how I came at you about something. You said
Oh my gosh, I blocked it out. I don't even remember.
Yeah, you said I was. What are you talking about?
Oh, yes, I do
What are
remember
you
now.
talking about?
Yes, I do.
We don't
You
argue
were
like this
grumpy.
often.
I totally forgot. That's so weird.
Well, see,
is that trauma?
How are you not thinking about
Is
this
that
all day?
trauma?
I'm
I
thinking
let it
about it all
go.
day. You're not thinking about it all day.
I did. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
You
Okay,
said
so we woke
you said
up.
I'm a grump. You called me
Yeah,
a
he was
grump.
very. He's been
You
very
said I was
grumpy lately.
scowling. I don't, and so I just put the biggest smile on my face for like an hour. I said, I'm just not going to. Well, I just walked around the whole house smiling. I said, because honestly,
Yeah,
the
he
truth
was
is,
grumpy.
I didn't mean any of that. I didn't know where that was coming from. I didn't mean to be like that or whatever I said. I didn't mean to be harsh.
I think
I
you
was
were
just-
dealing with stress, and
No,
just
I
your
honestly,
tone was
I
different.
was not mad,
and you
or
were
at all.
scowling.
I was not mad.
But
I wasn't
you-
mad.
That's so
at
weird.
all.
Maybe in your head,
And
you
that's
had,
why it totally
you were-
surprised me when you did this, when you said that, and you were kind of upset. And
Yeah, it
I
was-
thought you were going to cry.
I'm just not going to
And
talk
I
to you
just
then.
said-
You're just grumpy and
and
scowling, and
Yeah.
there's no point. I'm not
So
even.
I
talk
said,
to
hey,
you.
listen, I'm so sorry if that's how that came off. I did not want to, I was not mad at all. I was not trying to be harsh at all. I'm sorry if it sounded that way.
Or maybe
And-
because you apologized so
and-
fast, it made everything okay.
Yeah, because I
and feel
honestly
safe.
didn't feel like that at all. I wasn't trying to be like that. I didn't want to come
Maybe
off
if
like
you
that.
wouldn't have apologized, then I
Maybe,
still would
maybe.
remember.
That's true.
That's interesting,
And
actually.
then I just put the biggest smile on my face and I walked around
That
for
was
like
a little
a
bit
straight
creepy
hour
for a
and a half with the biggest smile I could muster on my face. And I said, okay, that you think I'm scowling, huh? Okay. I'm going to put the biggest smile on my face and you ain't going to be able to say nothing for the next hour.
And it's
about
funny
it.
too, because when you have children, they'll tell you, like Destiny, she'll tell you, she's such a little, oh my gosh, she's such a little
she's gonna
ninja.
she's
She'll
gonna be a
come to
handful.
him, and if he just raises his tones off a little bit, she literally get, what is it, like a roundhouse kick.
She'll get
She'll
into this
roundhouse
karate
kick,
stance. And she's
push
like,
kick,
don't talk
axe
to mama
kick.
like that.
She'll
said,
hold
"What
Daniel
is-"
behind her. Stay here. I'll deal with Daddy.
I don't know where this came from.
She's such a little ninja.
It's like, I think honestly, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, honestly, but we were having some problems when you were pregnant with her. I think she heard too many things.
Yes.
Because
with
Daniel
Daniel,
couldn't hear it,
I
but-
hid everything. And then when I was pregnant with Destiny, I spoke up for myself,
Yeah, but
and
she
I
was
just
in your
wasn't.
belly.
I know, but I
We're
wasn't
like, she's not
taking
supposed-
it.
We wouldn't want the kids to hear this, but let's have this out now. We go in a
Yes.
room and have it out. Like, okay, let's talk about it. And
Mm-hmm.
it would get a little heated. And now I'm thinking, because the way she acts, like there's no justification for it. She all of a sudden just
She
jumps into
knows.
some karate stance and she's like, stop it, Daddy. And then she'll like throw some roundhouse kick. And she is in the full
she's
split, so she can throw a
strong.
roundhouse kick like at my chin. She's holding like, she's like comes to my waist.
She's teeny tiny.
So she's got a good kick, I should say. Yesterday she kicked me pretty good.
Fell.
I was like, kicked me in the wrong place, if you know what I mean. And so she's very
She puts it-
protective.
she's
and I don't know where she gets that
very
from, but I
protective.
honestly think if I had to put my money,
Daniel's
if I was a betting man,
protective too,
I
but
think she got
he's.
it from when she was in the tummy.
I think so.
Because that was the only time we were having some issues during that time. And I remember we
were
got heated a lot.
putting boundaries in place with certain people and certain things, and
we were
we're just
moving.
really stepping into understanding what marriage was really about, and then also you get I don't know if it was just with Daniel.
Well, I think you were
I
having
would
your
I would
pregnancy
hide,
hormones, you were
but
going
with
through a bunch of
Daniel I
stuff.
would hide, and I would be very careful with my voice. I studied everything, and I was very careful with Destiny too. But then at the same
Yeah, but I don't think we were going
time,
through as much. We were okay with Daniel. We were in a
Yeah.
good place.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
And it was because I think we were both just happy we were having a baby.
It was hard because my mom got diagnosed with the C word. So it was very much, and she was dealing with it through destiny. But I didn't know. But you were dealing with stuff. I didn't know that I was about to get diagnosed, but I was dealing with a lot during the pregnancy and before the pregnancy. And then we only figured out the diagnosis because my OBGYN just sent me in for a test that the doctor said, I mean, what do you think you got? The C word? You're the healthiest person I know. And he laughs. And then, Anyway, that's a whole different podcast. But she saved my life. And Daniel was the one that said, we're having another baby for my birthday. For my birthday, I want a baby girl.
And I probably,
Anyway, so we were dealing
through
with
all this stuff. I wasn't in a good place. I was dealing with some stuff too, and I think we just clashed
dealing with
in the
crazy
middle.
people. I'm trying to save my mom's life and trying to just figure out what I could do to save her. And oh my gosh, it was a lot of stress, but it was good. It's good to speak up for yourself, and not like in a crazy way. Like I wouldn't lose my mind, but I was like, listen. And I would just speak my heart. And I do feel that that's important, but definitely this little girl hurt my heart at times. And also the times that I felt sad or was going through things, she felt that even though I didn't tell anyone. It's crazy. Sure. Your baby
and now we're paying
knows
for it.
That.
Now we're paying for it and making up for it. But anyways, so what I wanted to go back to was just
be the leader.
As men, if you're going to be leaders, not only be the first to make that decision and to take on the burden and to fix the thing that needs to be fixed, but also
because it feels
to be
good
the first
after.
person to jump up in the middle of the night when you hear the bang on the door.
Yeah.
But also be the first person to apologize. Be the first person
to pray,
to acknowledge there's a problem. Be the first person to pray when prayer is needed in the home, when people are going through stuff and tempers are heated. See, you want to know how to fix a situation like that right on the spot? Say, let's pray.
Yeah, I've done that with you.
And I hate to admit it, but she has, and I have too.
Oh my gosh, that's what I said this week.
It fixes things on the spot. You want to fix something on the spot?
Yes.
Say that.
I forgot that. Yeah.
You can't be mad anymore. I remember I was so mad. I wanted, let's yell. Let's make something. Let's do a good argument. Let's get a good argument in.
I do
you want to argue?
Like,
let's do this.
No, let's pray.
I put my gloves on.
I was ready
to go.
I was like, he's
and
not
she wanted
to pray.
To pray.
He's not gonna
pray. My gosh, talk about taking all the wind out of my sails.
He didn't. I don't want to pray.
I don't want to pray.
We need an exorcism over here. Hold on.
But,
oh gosh.
You know, I didn't want to pray because I didn't want to be okay at that moment. I wanted, I was feeling sorry for myself. I wanted to argue. It's such a, you can be a great leader and you can still make mistakes. You're still going to trip and fall. You're going to have problems. You're going to make bad decisions. You're going to do the wrong thing at the right time. You're going to do the right thing at the wrong time. Things are going to happen in your marriage. So be okay with it, and just try to be first. Try to do the right thing when the opportunity arises.
Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness And honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Sheila Jeet today. And I feel like we kind of covered everything we're about to talk about for parenting. For, as I said before, our children don't follow what we say. They follow what we show them. And if you want to grow, if you want your children to grow into strong, faith-filled leaders, they have to see us going first in discipline. And that's exactly what you were talking about. They need to see us go first into grace and into resilience. And here's the funny thing is that statistics do prove it. Barna research shows 80% of children who see their parents model daily prayer, continue in their faith, as adults, the children continue in their faith as adults. I hope that came out right. I was thinking it, but I don't know if you got it. So if they see this modeled as children, they're going to carry that faith into their adulthood. And I feel like even if they step away from their faith, if they saw it as children, they're going to have an easier time coming back to the Lord and stepping into their God-given purpose.
And they have somebody to go to.
That's
when
right.
They're going
that
through
I always
something.
say that is you may feel in life one day you may feel all alone, like you have no one to talk to, but prayer is the strongest. I'm getting goosebumps right now, but prayer, because someone probably feels maybe they're dealing with something right now in their marriage or through their pregnancy. I'm telling you that prayer is the most powerful thing. Prayer is the most powerful thing. You will always have your Father in heaven. It doesn't matter if you've been abandoned by your whole family, you've been abandoned by life right now. I feel like I'm talking to someone. I feel like someone needs to hear this exactly. But prayer, your Father in heaven, he hears you and he's going to be the one, that footsteps in the sand as you look back. You say, God, where were you? Where were you when I was going through the hardest time of my life? Because I only see one set of footsteps when there was two my whole life. And that's because God was carrying you during those times. So don't ever feel that you have no one. I always tell my kids this. You can pray anywhere, anytime. You can speak to your Father in heaven and your prayers will be answered. Maybe not right away because he needs you to be ready for when the blessings come, when the answers to the prayers come, but you will be covered. And that is the promise. Fear not, because he will always be covering you. So they're not just waiting for your words, your children. They're waiting for your example. And when they see you argue and pray and get back on that routine, they need to see you guys make up, because if you don't make up, that causes all kinds of trauma. When one walks out and then they come back like, oh, nothing happened, that causes so much trauma. And they're just realizing how traumatic that is, the mother wounds, father wounds, all of that. And it decides what kind of relationship you're going to have when you grow up. So be affectionate, push through it,
They need
apologize.
to see that love
they
in your
have
family,
to see that because
they're not going to show love if they don't see love.
Yeah, if you didn't have that, you need to be the one to break the chains.
And again, they're not going to show faith in
trust in
trust
what
in God.
you say.
In God, if you aren't the first to fall down on your knees.
That's right.
I mean, Daniel, this morning when you went to say a prayer with Destiny, he could hear you. He was far away from you, but he could hear you, and he immediately dropped down to his knees and started praying. Yeah, it was so cute, and I just said, that was you. That was you. I felt almost jealous at that moment because you were saying a prayer with her, and he was following your example. When as soon as he heard you start praying, he just dropped whatever was in his hand. He literally dropped it on the ground and fell straight to his knees and just started and put his hands together.
I want to cry. I didn't even know that because he woke up earlier.
And that's by example.
He woke up earlier, so we already prayed. Usually we pray together as a family, but Daniel woke up first, so I prayed with him. And then later, Destiny came. And then obviously I didn't want to leave leave her out. We don't miss a day. We don't miss a day. I swear this could be in another podcast, but when I went into that, and I was already changing as soon as I found out I was pregnant with Daniel. I was already changing, but when I went into that operating room, and I'll explain the miracle that just came over me, but real quick, I may as well just share it, that when I went in for that surgery that I said I wasn't going to do, I was doing a lot of other things, but even my doctor, I said, do you believe in God? Because I just had this nightmare the night before and wasn't going to do it. And I asked him, I said, do you believe in God? And he didn't. He didn't. But he did say he believed in miracles. And I said, that's okay, because God he's going to cure me through your hands. He's going to heal me through your hands. And he kind of looked at me like, okay, she's lost it. Like she's really dealing with trauma. But whatever it is, I went into that operating room and, just thinking that you're going to get a bunch of scars, you might not make. He said you might not make it. It's a big surgery. This is huge.
And it turned out to be almost 3 hours longer than it was supposed to.
Right. They said maximum 4 hours. It was 8 hours. A lot went on in that operating room. Miracles happened, but I knew going in, there was so much peace. And there was that point where I do like to control things and I do like to make sure things go well. I gave it all to God. So when I went in, I came out a different person. And I cannot explain the love and the warmth. It was like a miracle. I'm feeling goosebumps right now. It was a miracle because you should be losing your mind. You're going in for this terrifying surgery that's going to leave you scarred, change everything about you. And God was with me that day. Another topic, but I always have to give him the glory because I'm a different person now. And if you don't like it, too bad, because the glory goes to him. A lot of people that have gone through things like this, they shouldn't be here, but there's only one person to thank, and there's only one understanding of why this is happening. It's because of God. And I will forever, ever, ever testify that. That's 100%.
We can't even tell you how that went down. Like it was one day we'll just like have to tell the whole story, but like there's no other.
It'll be in our book.
There's no other explanation for some of the things that happen.
Yeah.
And it's almost hard to believe, but
those of you that have gone through miracles, things will happen in your life and you'll just know.
And those are the same examples that can happen in your marriage, in everything that you do. When
ask for the signs.
When you ask for someone to help you, when you ask for the help, when you ask to be able to open up your heart, to be a better leader to your family, to be a better parent. I pray for that every single day.
You're on this journey together.
Let me be a better parent.
You're now
Help
one
me to
flesh.
be a better leader to
You're
my
not
family.
in it by yourself. You can ask your husband for advice. You can ask your wife for advice, but know that you're leading her and that she's not going to let you. She knows where your weak parts are. She's there. She's not your enemy. She's there to lift you. She's there to guard you. She's there to protect you. Listen, wives out there, you may not say anything, but you watch the way people treat your husband. The people that have taken when he's been generous. You've seen how they've treated your husband when he's been in trouble. You take notes more than your husband will forget, but you watch every little detail because you are there to protect him. You're there to serve him. You're there, you're there as the wife, the crown of the family. So you feel it. And you feel the pain maybe even more than him. It's like, are you kidding me? These people betray you. He's having a hard time for once in his life, and he's done so much for you guys, and this is how, you don't even deserve me to talk to you guys ever. Anyway, wives, you know what I'm talking about. You know. So are we going to, yes. Let's talk about, are you saying we're running out of time, or do you want to go into the business? I think we covered everything. But when you go into
leadership in business is a standard. I can tell you that you need to make decisions.
That's right.
You need to be first. You need to create a vision. That was what we talked about last week. That's all. It's almost basic when you're in entrepreneurship.
You need to be the one doing.
The family is a much more complicated thing.
Right. And business, just be the one that does the groundwork first. So if you're creating this business right now, for example, with the architectural concrete company, we didn't just boss people around and tell them what to do. We had to learn exactly every single thing that can go wrong and how everything can go right with the concrete. We had to understand, we had to know how to do it. One, so we didn't get ripped off by people that would want to take longer or do a bad job just so they take longer on the job. But then also to show them, we know exactly. I knew how to stamp concrete.
Well, you're the leader because it all falls back on you.
Exactly.
Here's the thing: you're only a leader because it all falls on your shoulders.
That's right.
It's the same reason for a man. Mm-hmm. The reason you're the leader of the family is because when things fall apart, when things don't work, everybody's going to be looking at you. Good, right, or wrong, they are going to be looking at you and going, "You messed up. Why didn't you fix this? Why didn't you make sure that we were okay? It's your fault. It's your fault, guys. It's your fault. If things don't work, it's your fault. And but you have to take responsibility for that.
Yes,
and accountability for that. And so
have discipline.
It's the same thing in
all of
business.
us. We all need it. Our
that
children.
all falls back on you because when it doesn't work out, I've had businesses fail, and I've had to take responsibility for that. That didn't work out. I could have done something different.
And sometimes it's just choosing the wrong partners. It's that easy. Like you want it to work, but it doesn't. Yeah.
You pick the wrong business. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong.
But
and you have
those
to
are
take responsibility
lessons.
for that.
Those are lessons.
But that's what your job is. Mm-hmm. And as the leader, you're going to take the fall if it falls apart.
When it crumbles.
If it crumbles.
And then you need to build it back up.
Don't let it crumble.
Here's some tactics that we can start today. So my favorite, pray first. Invite God into the conversation before conflict has a chance to spiral, because you don't want that. Number 2, apologize first. Dan was talking about this, and I feel like it's tough for a lot of people. But if you value the relationship above being right, then that's
I've gotten
what
much
counts.
better at this.
Just understand.
Really
I value my relationship above being right. We're a team. Why do I want? It's not going to get me anywhere to be right. My mom taught me this when I was very young, to just always be okay to learn. It's not a mistake. It's just a lesson. You know why men are afraid to
apologize when they make mistakes?
I don't know. It's not a big deal.
You know why? It is to men, though. You know why?
Okay.
And men will understand this, is that because when they make a mistake, their leadership is being questioned. They can be questioned because you made a mistake. You made a mistake now, and now maybe you're not fit for leadership. People lose leadership positions because they make mistakes. And so it's really hard for a man to admit that he made a mistake because he knows he's the last. He's the only leader.
That's what gives everyone
in a family.
Trust
He's
when
the
you
only
take
leader.
accountability.
I know, but it doesn't.
That's why people
right.
go viral, because they're
100%.
Wow, that guy just said he's a narcissist and he's giving lessons on narcissism. I gotta follow this person.
I'm not saying it's exactly that. If you take total accountability for it, we don't realize the power in that.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, the reason why men do that initially, why they're afraid, they're literally afraid. They won't admit it, but they're afraid of admitting that they made a mistake, that they could have done things different, that they maybe yelled when they should have been compassionate, that they snapped at somebody when they should have listened first, or whatever it might be. They're afraid of saying that because now their leadership is being questioned.
You know what I think that is? That's the enemy. Because when someone says, here's 10 reasons my marriage fell apart and it's all my fault because, and then it gets like 20 billion views. But I think that's the enemy,
so much
making
easier.
it so hard.
It's easier
not
to point out how your partner did this and your partner did
right.
that.
That's
and your
a red
partner did
flag.
this.
That's a red flag.
No, I mean,
in
because
dating,
it might be true.
But this is
It might be true,
This
but it
is
doesn't
one
mean
of
you
the
can't take accountability
questions
for what
that
you did.
need to say is you need to find out how people think about, say, if you're in the dating phase, or definitely encourage your children in the dating phase. If they had an ex and they blame everything on their ex, that's a huge red flag of narcissism that you have to be careful of that.
I mean, I wouldn't don't throw
But then again,
the N-word around too much because you never know what situation.
Well, actually, there are crazy
There's people on
exes,
both
so,
sides that
yeah,
are going
that's
through
true.
stuff. And lots of times,
Well,
in my
your story
experience,
is different.
I can
so
say
you did
that
have
lots
to
of
deal with
times
a lot.
it's both sides that are doing it and doing something wrong.
I
And that
agree
they
with
need
that.
to both
I
take
agree with
accountability
that.
for what they're doing, for what they are doing, what they can control.
Yeah,
And if
that's
they both
100%.
work on themselves, I promise you both have a better relationship.
Yes. Oh, and then number 3, stay calm first. We mentioned this. So as a leader, you're going to set the atmosphere instead of reacting to it. I'm getting the countdown by the producers. And then serve first. Take the small daily sacrifices, do the dishes, help carry the load, offer the encouragement. Remember, it's not, you're not helping. Don't say that word. Don't say that word to your pregnant mom, to your pregnant wife that you're helping, because it's your house too. It's your house too. And you're not babysitting.
I had to learn this the hard
They're
way.
your
You're not
children.
babysitting and you're not helping, apparently. Apparently, this is the thing, okay?
gosh,
this is the new
no.
word. Don't
Talk
say
to the
word,
Europeans.
the bad word
The
that you
Europeans,
can't say.
they cook together,
Now,
they
look,
clean together,
I
they
say
farm
it
together,
because
they do all the things
I don't
together.
mean it like that. Lots of times we don't mean it that way. We're just trying to help.
I don't think you've ever said. If you did, I blacked it out.
What are you talking about?
Model first.
sure I have.
Live what you want to see in your children, spouse, or team. So model first. And yes, don't say that
Don't say those bad
babysitting
words.
and helping. You're not. It's your place too.
I'm sure
And
I've
if
said
she
it.
wasn't there, oh my gosh, and
I know
don't
I've
say,
said it.
I could pay for this. Do you know how much it actually costs? It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. I could just pay someone to do this.
I know
I
I've
think
said
you
that.
said that once. I was like,
I
oh,
know I've
really?
said that.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, anyways, so I feel like we covered everything. And listen, this week, I want you to ask yourself, where do you need to go first in your marriage? Is it apologizing first? Is it in your parenting? Is it modeling faith first or being the example? Or is it in your business? Is it sacrificing first where your team can see? Because leadership doesn't start when it's easy. And we talked about this the whole episode. It starts when it costs you something. And I really want to leave you with this. Don't do it alone. Join our community and make sure that you're subscribed to this podcast so you never miss a conversation that can transform your legacy. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone you love, someone you care about, or someone that's going through this very thing. Maybe a friend, maybe a couple. It could be a parent that needs to hear this exact message, because when you share, you're not just spreading words, you're spreading hope, healing, and legacy. So thank you for showing up. You're the reason we do this. And remember, the leader goes first.
Be first. Be first, guys. Be first. And may the force be with you.
God bless.
Okay, I will see you guys next week.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode of the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. We really hope you got something from today's show. Leaders, remember, be first, always. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Give this podcast a 5-star review. It helps it get to the people that need it. God bless. We love you. Thank you all. tuning in to today's episode. I know you got something from it today. And don't forget the importance of leadership. And say your prayers. I'll see you on next week.